911, what is your emergency?
This is the life of a 911 dispatcher, sending deputies, EMS, firefighters to emergencies across the area. But more and more, the calls sound something like this.
911, what is your emergency? Hello?
That was a pocket dial. In the background, chickens and a rooster. Just one of hundreds of missed dials in a single day.
It's an industry-wide concern across the nation.
Brad Herron is the general manager of the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office Communication Bureau. He explains cell phones have completely changed the industry. 25 years ago, only 20% of calls received came from cell phones.
These days, 80% of calls that come into this center are cellular telephone calls.
While you and me can simply hang up on an obvious pocket dial, that's not the case for 911 dispatchers. Each call is taken seriously. Dispatchers listen in. They try to call back. If nobody is contacted, a deputy is immediately sent to a general area near where that cell phone was used to simply look for an emergency.
Abandoned wireless.
We were inside the dispatch center for less than 5 minutes when a child called on their parents' phone and hung up. It turns out about 20% of the total calls coming in are hang-ups.
You're talking overwhelming amounts of money that are invested in this.
We looked at a random day in September where there were 234 911 hang-ups. If it takes a deputy a half an hour to respond to each one, plus a gallon of gas, that total cost over a year is more than $1 million.
Millions. I would have to say $1 million.
Hello.
Hi, it's operator 100 with the sheriff's office.
In the case of our chicken call, a dispatcher was able to call the number back and get an answer. But that's not what typically happens.
About 60% of those are unresolved.
Those calls go here to a deputy who spends the entire day calling back, making sure there isn't an emergency responding deputies couldn't find.
I leave a lot of voicemails. Some call back, most don't.
The typical response:
I didn't know I called. It was a pocket dial. I got accidentally called. My child was playing with the phone.
Then there are calls like this.
There's some vampires outside.
There's a what?
Vampires.
Vampires?
Yeah, they killed my dog.
Bogus calls that take dispatchers away from real emergencies, making lines busy and taking deputies away from what could be life or death situations.
To be here, available and ready for the people that are making legitimate 911 calls.
Herron says education is key and believes if people understood that 911 is for emergencies only and they learned how to properly use and lock their phones, lots of money could be saved.
It is a large majority of our calls, and it takes up a large majority of our time.
In Hillsborough County, Clifton French, ABC Action News.